Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to some more useless takes on video games. My name is Muddy88, aka AJ from Queens, and we're here today to get all nostalgic on your ass. You know that warm, fuzzy feeling that you get when Yellow by Coldplay randomly plays on your Spotify shuffle? Or when you're going through your clothes and you find your old Derek Jeter jersey shirt that you haven't been able to fit into since like 2004? Yeah, that feeling. Only today, because all I know is games, sports, and music, we'll be diving into the top 5 games millennials will never be able to get removed from their memories. And with that being said, picture this. It's summer break 2006 and you just come home from your friend's house down the block. You toss your bike into the yard and you walk into the house. Now, was that awkward time between dinner and lunch so your mom gives you a Lunchables with a Capri Sun that you could barely get open? Damn those straws, by the way. However, you have some time to kill, so after the Lunchables, you make your way into the basement and you glance at your brand new Nintendo 64 you got 2 weeks ago. What game do you pop in? Well, obviously it's number 5 on this list, Mario 64. I mean, could there be a more iconic video game? From the janky yet totally innovative for its time camera system to the wahoo sound Mario made while jumping, this game is embedded into every millennial's mind like Gorilla Glue. Making your way up to the mountaintop, delivering a baby penguin to his mother, or beating Bowser by swinging his ass by his tail into some bombs. These were highlight reel levels that we all played with Cheeto-stained fingers and absolute elation. Star after star after star, we made our way into each door until that final boss battle that gave us our beloved boo back, Princess Peach. And the music. Find me a millennial that can't hum the Waterworld theme, and I'll give you $1 million. Well, maybe not $1 million, maybe like 1,000,000 stars, but anyway. Sticking with the Nintendo 64, we make our way to number 4 on this list, 007 GoldenEye. Possibly the mother of all FPS games, GoldenEye gave us hours upon hours of single and multiplayer espionage goodness, with poorly, and I mean poorly, pixelated characters, and guns that look like a number 2 pencil. The best part about multiplayer is that all controllers need to be hooked up at once, so every player played against each other in the same room. For you Gen Zers out there, if you thought that the shit talking in CSGO, PUBG, or Call of Duty was bad, try giving your mate the old Triple H suck it gesture after head shooting him with a crappy looking Uzi in the pyramid level. There was nothing more awesome, or defeating if you were on the other side of it. At number 3, we're going to go a little further back in time. Make sure you blow into your cartridge for this one because we're playing Sonic 2, baby, on the Sega Genesis. Man, there's something so special about the simplicity of Sonic. Be it the rewarding sound from snatching up those wings to the little spinny sound the sign made after completing a level, Sonic gave us hours upon hours of tedious yet addicting gameplay that, believe it or not, has seen a little bit of a resurgence today based off of apps and online games. Dr. Egghead sure thought of some innovative machines to take us down, but taking them out felt like a lifetime achievement, especially when we jump on that contraption that released all those funny little animals back into the wild. Speaking of which, what was Egghead doing with all those critters anyway? What a weirdo. Rounding at the number 2 spot, we have Wii Bowling. Man, I remember when this first came out, it was right around like the back end of high school where we all had way too much time on our hands. But what better use to put those hands than slapping an interactive controller on it and pretending to bowl? I mean, going to a bowling alley? What was this, amateur hour? Now we were able to enjoy the mundaneness of bowling virtually. You know, while ignoring a homework and simultaneously IMing your crush on AIM via your sidekick. Man, kids have no idea how much fun that time period was. The best part about Wii Bowling was when you discovered how to make the ball curve to perfection. It wasn't long after that where you would learn to curve it so unnecessarily just to knock down like one of your remaining pins just to botch it. But boy, oh boy, was it a good time. And an era that we'll never see again. Get it? We will never see again? I'm sorry. I'm a dad, by the way, now. My God. Now, before we get to number 1, I have a few honorable mentions. Of course, I have to mention Mario Party. Okay, everybody played Mario Party back in the day for N64 and the GameCube. It was a lot of fun. Mortal Kombat, and I know that's going a little too further back. I'd probably say Mortal Kombat 2. And I know it was more arcade-based, but who didn't love the finishing moves in that game? Halo? Okay, I was told that that's a thing, even though I was never big into Halo, but I know a lot of people out there were nuts, especially when the Xbox first dropped. Zelda Ocarina of Time, possibly the GOAT of all Zelda games. And if you had a Nokia, how can I not put Snake on this list? But although these are all very huge games for the time, it doesn't come close to the number 1 spot. When you think about it, number 1 is pretty obvious. You see, trends today thanks to technology turning our brains into a pile of nuclear waste, lasts about the same lifespan of an average housefly. However, back in the late 90s and early 2000s, trends had a tendency to take a grip on the culture for the better half of a year. Remember yo-yos or pogs? Or getting your Nextel to play the latest 50 Cent or Simple Plan song? Well, take that and magnify it by like a trillion, and you have the obsession that was Pokemon. Pokemon Red and Blue were perhaps the biggest games to ever hit the gaming market in the 90s, and possibly ever. There were days when I'd find myself waking up and going to sleep with my Game Boy Advance glued to my hand like it was surgically implanted on my body. The feeling of perusing the grass, stumbling into a battle, and coming across a Pokemon you just had to capture was the most important thing in your life, hands down at the time. And you better hope you stocked up on Master Balls, because ain't no way Gyarados is gonna stand for that shit. Ain't nobody got time for that. See, Pokemon was a phenomenon that we will never see again, and I mean never. And honestly, I think it's well deserving of the number one spot on this list, but do you agree? What did I miss? Well, shoot me a comment down below, or feel free to like and sub for more useless takes on absolute nonsense. Until then, well, I guess that's it. Peace, people.